Good morning, everybody. Meg Young here, back for another day. I hope you're all healthy and well, staying safe. This has been a very difficult time for many, many people, and a lot of people are on the front lines in ways that we're never expecting, never intending to be. A lot of us are not taught how to breathe. A lot of us are not taught why breathing works. A lot of us are taught to just breathe when you're stressed out, but not really why or how it works. Especially when we're not supposed to be in a really high risk job, we don't necessarily think about the stress that entails and the ongoing cumulative trauma that you are dealing with that normally you don't ever have to deal with. So I'm really wanting to talk to all of our frontline workers right now, saying thank you very much for everything that you are doing during this time. Those frontline workers are our normal first responders, doctors, nurses, therapists, but they're also the other grocery store workers, convenience store workers, liquor store workers, the other people that are constantly open and customer facing on a daily basis, several times a day, many all day, 8 hours a day plus. A lot of us as therapists recognize the importance of breathing, recognize why the skills work and how the skills work. But a lot of you guys don't necessarily understand that. So when I've been doing these tips and tools for you, I'm hoping I'm giving you some education as to why it's helpful to do these. I hope that the education has been helpful and that it's been useful in you saying, oh, let me do this because this is why I want to try this. I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I'm starting the day about talking about breathing. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about breathing. When we're stressed out at a low level, if we think of like 1 to 10 scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, not too stressed out, 7, 8, 9, 10, pretty stressed out. If we do the breathing skills at a 1, 2, and 3, we're pretty likely to say that they work. Just kind of take a sit back and take a couple of deep breaths, which forces you to breathe from your diaphragm. And at a lower level of stress, that does work. At a higher level of stress, it does not work. And the reason it does not work is because it's not meant to calm down the system. What it's meant to do is it's meant to stop the adrenaline from continuing to get poured into the body. It's a pause for the brain. What happens in the body is still going to take time to dissipate. It's still going to take time for all of the chemical that's in there to reabsorb into the body. So if we're at a 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't take as long for it to reabsorb into the body. If we're at a 7, 8, 9, it's going to take a lot longer for it to reabsorb into the body. So the more stressed out you are, the longer it takes to calm down. And stress is cumulative. So when you go to work in the morning, maybe you're at a 2, but throughout the day, your stress is increasing. So the more frequently you use the breathing skills, the mindfulness skills, the muscle relaxation, just kind of a quick shakeout, any of that stuff, the more you're keeping the stress level down by telling the body, don't send any more in right now. Or telling the brain, don't send any more adrenaline in right now. I don't need it. But I wanted to touch base with you a little bit about the higher levels. When you're at a 7, 8, 9, you don't necessarily want to do the breathing skills. The breathing skills, when we do that, when we take a deep breath and go, we tend to notice what's happening in the body. So we might feel the high heart rate. It might feel more pressure in the heart. We might feel the numbness or tingling in the sensations in the body. We might feel kind of this fuzzy feeling in the brain, in the head. All of these things that are really pretty normal, but you don't necessarily notice them because you got your visual, your audio, you got everything else going on. You're not noticing it. As soon as you do the breathing, you go inward. And when you go inward, you notice all of that. So when you're at a higher level, you're already anxious, and then you go inward and you realize just how tight your chest feels, and you realize just how hard it is to breathe. You might be thinking, oh my God, do I have COVID-19 because I can't breathe? It's not, that increases your anxiety. It's not helpful to go inward when you're too anxious, because when you're too anxious and you go inward, you actually make the anxiety worse. So when you're at a higher level of anxiety, if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, doing these skills really, really helpful. 7, 8, 9, I want you to do something that's more active. I want you to do something that is more vocal or more physical. You're in fight flight mode. And when you're in fight flight mode, you need to let the energy out of your body. You need to let the adrenaline go. Otherwise, you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel anxious. The quickest thing to do is to align with the fight flight. The quickest thing to do is to do something that is aligning with that urge that you're having right now. If you need to scream or say something really loud, like you're just like, I feel it all in here, then you want to make sure that you're doing something vocal. So if you're singing, screaming into a pillow, whatever you need to do, but get it out. Don't just talk on a soft tone. Actually be vocal, be loud. Same thing with the fight flight. So if you're feeling a lot of like shakiness in your hands, you want to do something that's pretty physical with your upper body. You want to do something that's going to let a lot of this stuff in your upper body out. Same with the lower body. So if you're feeling like you need to run, if you're just kind of shaking your leg and feeling like you need to run, do something that's physical. Sit-ups are good. Push-ups are good. Jumping jacks are good. Burpees are wonderful. We all love burpees. But do something that's going to align with the fight flight to let some of that energy go. It's amazing that how well that actually works to actually feel a little bit better in the body. Once you do that, once you do some of the exercises that let the energy out of the body, then go back, take that breath, refocus, and say, now what? What do I need to do for the rest of the day? How am I going to get through the rest of the day? Make sure your muscles are loose. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.